What's up, future millionaires? It is your boy Mike the Investor. Now in this video, we're going to be talking about a few things that I believe is going to contribute to Digibyte being huge in the future. Now I've gotten a lot of comments and personal DMs asking me, hey Mike, can you do another video on Digibyte? Well, you guys know how I feel about the Digibyte project. I'm a strong believer in Digibyte, and if you haven't checked out the previous videos that I did on Digibyte, I put out 3 videos. I will highly recommend checking out the first video I did on Digibyte, which will explain to you what is the Digibyte blockchain, what is the Digibyte cryptocurrency, what are the use cases, and why I'm personally invested in Digibyte. Now before diving into it, definitely grab you some free Bitcoin by using the Voyager and BlockFi link down below, and let's get ready to dive into it. Alright, crypto investors, welcome back to the channel. Now a lot of people may look at Digibyte as being used as an everyday cryptocurrency or a more improved Bitcoin. Well, for me, I look at Digibyte as being a security protocol cryptocurrency that has the ability to be used as an everyday payment currency with store value characteristics, and we're going to be trying to tie all that in together in this video. Now the first thing we're going to dive into is some of the security features that the Digibyte project offers, and this is a big deal to me because not only do they offer security features to blockchain, but they also offer security features to consumers and businesses. That is a big problem that is being solved, and so let's go ahead and dive into 2 of these things. And a lot of people may not understand that Digibyte technology is being used in blockchains today, and it's also being used in one of the most popular cryptocurrencies today, known as Dogecoin. If Dogecoin never implemented DigiShield back in 2014, Dogecoin probably wouldn't be here today, and a lot of you probably didn't know that, and this is why I call Digibyte the sleeping giant. But let's go ahead and dive into what is DigiShield. So DigiShield was designed to pretty much not allow the blockchain to freeze, and so freezing would occur a lot back in 2014 with the traditional difficulty retargeting system that Bitcoin and Litecoin used. When proof of work mining was relatively young, as miners would hop between Litecoin, Digibyte, and Dogecoin, Digibyte and Dogecoin especially would end up with a frozen chain where it takes too long to find a block. And it goes on to say DigiShield was created to account for such wild fluctuations so that the blockchain doesn't freeze. Now check this sentence out for the Doge community. DigiShield was later then implemented into Dogecoin in early 2014, which at the time was suffering from a similar chain freezing issues as a result of influx and exodus of hash power. And the benefits seen on Digibyte and Dogecoin have meant a number of other blockchains have implemented DigiShield or Digi-based algorithms ranging from Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Gold, Zcash, and many others. So then Digibyte forked to the multi-algorithm, which are 5 mining algorithms, later in 2014. Multi-Shield is an advanced version of the original DigiShield, and then Digibyte pioneered both Multi-Shield and DigiShield. So a lot of you probably didn't know that Digibyte was the reason why Dogecoin is probably still here today, because Dogecoin had a complete shutdown with their blocks being frozen. And so when they implemented DigiShield, Dogecoin was able to work seamlessly and had a complete success. And you also see Bitcoin Cash using it, as they mentioned Ethereum, which are some of the largest cryptocurrencies in the space today. And so this is why I like to call Digibyte a sleeping giant. So right there we see a security feature and security use case that Digibyte is supplying to blockchains. Right there gives it staying power. Now let's look at another security feature that Digibyte offers, known as Digi-ID, where it offers us the ability to pretty much log in to websites using 2-factor authentication and not having the ability to use passwords and things like that. This is a big deal because this works for consumers and businesses. So let's check this out. So what is Digi-ID? Digi-ID is a security protocol built on Digibyte blockchain technology that empowers users to effortlessly sign in to websites, applications, and even into the Internet of Things. Wow. And so when we look at Digi-ID, it eliminates the often frustrating username and passwords requirements for authentication. With Digi-ID, the hassle of keeping track of various usernames, passwords is a thing of the past. So Digi-ID works by automatically generating a unique Digibyte address for each site, application, or product for which a user needs authentication. Because Digi-ID uses public-private key cryptographic, there are no passwords or usernames at risk. This method not only protects the consumer, it also protects the website or services that the consumer uses. Even with outstanding security, should a consumer reuse credentials from another vulnerable site, that consumer puts other users' data at risk. Digi-ID eliminates all these security issues, and Digi-ID does not collect or store any data about its users. So this is a big deal because now companies that have online websites, or you have businesses that are completely online, they can implement Digi-ID, and this protects their consumers when logging into their websites. And you can see how this protects both parties, consumers, and it protects businesses. And then we also have to touch on briefly Anthem Id, which ties into Digi-ID. So let's briefly dive into the Anthem Id here. So Anthem Id, the solution that allows you to log in and protect anywhere. If we scroll down a little bit, we look at the My Digi Password platform, and if you can see here, this is the world's first blockchain password generator and two-factor authenticator generator manager without saving passwords, and you can use it on every website, app, and service that you want. This is a big deal. We look here at the Open Anthem Id for developers. Integration of Open Anthem Id. This gives users the ability to log in and register without the need of a username and password. Scrolling down, looking at a few things that are coming up for Digibyte, you have the My Digi Trust platform. You also have Digi Protect, where you can secure your core wallets with your Anthem Id. And I think this is going to be big. The Digi Zipper, the world's first secure archive file format powered by Digibyte blockchain technology. Secure your zip files with Anthem Id. That is a big deal. And then of course we have here the Anthem Id platform, where you're able to create your digital ID. And then also do not forget that Anthem Id has a partnership with Microsoft and Amazon Web Services. So if we can look at just those two use cases for the security features of Digibyte. One, they offer solutions for blockchains, and then they offer solutions for consumers and businesses. So after looking at some problems that Digibyte is solving with their security features, I want to take a brief second to talk to you about iTrust Capital, which gives you a way to invest in cryptocurrency tax-free. So iTrust Capital is the largest crypto IRA platform with over 1 billion assets on the platform. You can invest in cryptocurrency and physical gold. Now you have completely 24 hours liquidity on trades. Now there are a 1% on the trade fee for crypto and a $50 spot for gold. So looking at the cryptocurrencies on iTrust Capital, I want to let you know they've added 2 new cryptocurrencies that we can now invest in. We have Dogecoin, and we also have Sushi Swap that we can now invest in on iTrust Capital. And now what will be coming soon will be Polygon Matic, which is a favorite in the crypto space. And last but not least, I want to talk about iTrust Capital joining Coinbase custody, where now we have the double protection besides Curve for our cryptocurrency. So right here, I definitely think it sets iTrust Capital apart from the competition. Now, if you would like to use iTrust Capital, use the promo code Mike the Investor, all one word, and you will get 1 month free to start using iTrust Capital to check it out for yourself. Tax-free crypto is definitely the way to go, but we understand that Bitcoin is a store of value just by the financial institutions and the Fortune 500 companies that have added Bitcoin to their balance sheet. So what we're going to be diving into, I want to briefly look at a side-by-side look of Digibyte and Bitcoin, just to show you how similar they are, but also to show you how more improved Digibyte is than Bitcoin. And then after that, we're going to kind of dive into the max supply, looking at if Bitcoin was going to be used as a payment for the whole world, and then we're going to look at it vice versa if Digibyte was going to be used as a payment for the whole world. And then I want to talk about how Digibyte has the store value capabilities, and I think inevitably it will be considered because of the max supply. So let's dive into this. So we can see Bitcoin and Digibyte. Looking at the scalability of both, Bitcoin is only 26 transactions per second, where Digibyte is 1,066 transactions per second, but can also do up to 2,000 transactions per second. When we look at the speed, Bitcoin is 10-minute block times, and we have Digibyte at 15-second block times. When we look at the mining algorithms, Bitcoin only has one, and we know Digibyte has 5 algorithms, which is a lot more secure. When we look at the difficulty adjustment, there's a 2-week delay for Bitcoin, and it happens in real time with Digibyte. And so when we look at the total number of units, which is a really big deal that I think a lot of people overlook, we have 21 million coins for Bitcoin, which is not a lot, but they will all be mined in 2140, where we have 21 billion coins, which is 1,000 times more coins than Bitcoin, but they will be all mined by 2035. So a lot of people say, man, it has way more coins than Bitcoin, but they're all going to be mined in just about 14 years or maybe 13 and a half years. But we're going to talk about that here in a second. Let's briefly look at why there are 21 billion coins for Digibyte. Now, me personally, I don't think that's a lot, but let's dive into this. So Digibyte has a higher max supply than Bitcoin because Digibyte was conceived to be used not as digital gold nor as any sort of commodity, but as a real currency. So today on planet Earth, we have approximately 7.6 billion people, and if each person should or want to need to use and live off of Bitcoin, then equally split at best, each person could only own 0.002 Bitcoin. The market cap for all the money on the whole planet today is estimated to recently pass $80 trillion. So that means that each unit of Bitcoin could be worth approximately 3.8 million. Now, if we scroll down and look at Digibyte being used, so check this out. This is where Digibyte comes in and where it shines. Digibyte aims to be used worldwide as an international currency, not to be hoarded the same way Bitcoin is. If we were to do these same calculations with Digibyte, we'll find that the numbers are a lot more reasonable. So at 7.6 billion people, each person could own 2.73 Digibyte. Each whole unit of Digibyte will be worth approximately $3,800 per coin. So I must say this is not financial advice, just for educational purposes, but that would just be the look if we were to use Bitcoin for payments. Everyone used Bitcoin, and then we take a look at everyone was to use Digibyte, and we understand that people don't want to use their Bitcoin for a payment. So we definitely know that there's going to be other cryptocurrencies that's going to take market share for that, even with Bitcoin Lightning coming into effect. I still think Digibyte is a better choice. It's faster, it's more secure, and it's more scalable as well. And so now let's kind of look at understanding what store value is, and then we're going to briefly talk about why I think Digibyte is going to be a store of value. So understanding store value is essentially any asset, currency, or commodity that can reliably be converted to another at a later date can serve as a store of value. So the conditions upon which an item qualifies to be a store of value depends on whether it can be saved, retrieved, and exchanged while maintaining its purchasing power. So if we look at money as a store value briefly, in the monetary economy, money is considered a store of value where it can be used as a means of saving and allocating capital. Money's property as a store of value facilitates a transfer of purchasing power over time. Another defining property of money is its use as a medium of exchange, which means that money is a carrier of a store of value between independent transactions. Since money can transfer purchasing power from one period to another, it is suited to store value. So if you look here, The store of value concept allows people to save and postpone consumption until a later date. And so let's look at another statement briefly on the concept of a store of value. In order for anything to be a store of value, it has to have a use case first. The utility of that thing leads to the store of value in that thing. So in other words, the utility of Digibyte leads to the store of value in Digibyte. So those are some interesting ways to look at a store of value. And so the reason why I believe inevitably Digibyte is going to be a store of value, when we looked at the graph of Bitcoin and Digibyte, you notice that yes, Digibyte has a higher max supply, but you also know that the max supply is going to come sooner into existence than Bitcoin. Bitcoin has 21 million, where all of them will be in existence approximately around 2140, which is over 100 plus years from now, which most likely I'm not going to be living. Where we have Digibyte is going to be in 2035, all the coins will be mine, which most of us now will still be living. And so when we look at that, we have the ability to kind of see the true value and scarcity of Digibyte a lot faster than Bitcoin. Now, of course, Bitcoin is the largest cryptocurrency, and I'm not really talking about market cap, but when you're talking about the characteristics, I think inevitably we're going to see Digibyte being used as a store of value because it has other use cases besides being used as an everyday payment. Even though it has the partnership with Humble Finance, that just kind of gives it that foundation because it is safe enough, it's fast enough, and it has the scalability to be used as a payment. So this is why I call Digibyte a sleeping giant. Now, I know this video was jam-packed. If you guys are still watching, I want to say thanks for watching. If you guys want to check out the I Trust Capital, definitely use the Mike the Investor promo code so that way you can get 1 month free. If you guys haven't connected with me on my social platforms on Twitter or Instagram, definitely consider connecting with me at Mike the Investor. That is all I got for you. Remember to stay inspired, stay motivated, always invest in yourself, and I'm out.